$50,000. So if you meet that threshold, you can apply, you complete the application, you submit it to me, and then I upload it. And really easy birth certificate and a document to show your household size and your residency, and to document your income. We can split those into half scholarships. So this year we have 7 scholarships. Some are broken up into half scholarships. So we have probably 18 students. No, not 18, 12 students on that. And we have several on the waiting list for that as well. More information about that. Okay, so the fiscal year for the Quality First starts July 1st each year. So we'll get the applications in end of May or June. It needs to be done every year. If you want to apply this year and get on the waiting list, if a scholarship opens up, the application is available in our office, and also a clickable link, and I'll share this slide with you all after. So a full scholarship, you have to be 5 full days to get a full scholarship, and that gives you $608 monthly. And a half scholarship, you need to be meet the minimum required hours, and that gives you $304 monthly. And they do require attendance. There are requirements for attendance, so it is tracked, and they can be revoked with poor attendance. So that's preschool. Let's move on to elementary. Okay, so we have 2 major options for elementary students. The first is the Empowerment Scholarship, and anyone kindergarten age and up can get this. It's guaranteed money to all children in Arizona. And then we have student tuition organizations, been around for a while, and they can be, there's corporate for low income, and then there's original and switcher, which are not income dependent necessarily. Okay, so for these 2 options, you can only use money for one school year from either one of these organizations. You can't double dip in both, but there is a way to bank money, and we'll talk about that. So the Empowerment Scholarship is guaranteed for all Arizona children. It's state law. You just apply one time, and then you renew every year. Kindergarten, since kindergarten is only funded half day, you get about $4,000 for the school year, and then grades 1 through 8, you get around $7,000. So it's guaranteed money. Those are the pros. The cons, it's a very new program. It is controversial, so it could be fragile. We don't know what the future is, and it does not cover all of our tuition. So you will need to pay a tuition balance out of pocket. Okay, so the student tuition organizations, and that's what I want to focus a lot on today. There's numerous organizations, 40 or more, that provide 3 types of scholarships. So we have the original and a switcher. They've been added at different times in state law. So the original is the beginning, and it's not necessarily income dependent, but every STO has different guidelines on how they give their money. The switcher was designed for students switching schools, coming from public schools to private schools, but the regulations around that have been loosened now. So now, even if you don't switch schools, if you get in at an early age, you can still access the switcher funds. And the corporate are for low income families. So if you meet a threshold, you can apply to many different organizations and get funding for your private school, for your child to attend private school. So you apply, you get the money directed to the private school in your child's name. The pros about STOs is they've been around for a long time, about 20 years. So they are pretty stable. You can get your entire tuition paid for. There's no ceiling on how much donations you can get. And you can bank your recommended donations while on ESA if you have, or if you have extra funding. So if you get a whole bunch of money one year and your child's recommended to your child, you can use all that you need and then carry over balances. So the cons are that money is not guaranteed. So you have to apply to different organizations. And the other thing is that money comes in throughout the year. So you may be required to pay for some tuition balance until those funds arrive. Okay. Can we ask Tim? Tim, was that clear enough? Do you have anything to add for that part?
Recording in
Go
progress.
back a slide for me, Dan.
Yes, give me a second.
Or Tara, thank you. So the one thing that you didn't have in your slide that I just kind of wanted to spend a second on was, you're right, there are 3 scholarships. The first 2, original and switcher, they come from donations of individuals. Okay, so I always think it's good to kind of understand where the money comes from. So it comes from individuals, anybody with a job in Arizona donating their tax liability and recommending your family receive those funds. And the corporate comes from donations of corporations. But I just kind of wanted to supplement what Dan said with the additional information that you as parents not only need to apply to school tuition organizations to get these scholarships, but you as parents need to go out and ask people to donate their tax liability. Ask people in Arizona who have a job, people in Arizona who have a tax liability can donate their tax liability, recommend your students receive those funds. The donor gets the money back when they file their taxes, so it doesn't cost them anything. And then we award those funds out to the schools in the form of scholarships. That's where the money comes from for the original and switcher scholarships. You had just kind of mentioned, to get those, you apply to different organizations. And I just like to drive the point home that the money actually comes from donations that are made to those organizations, and then you apply to get those funds that are donated and recommended to your family. But in general, for those original switcher, if there are no donations, there are no scholarships. That's where the money comes from. Okay. But it's something that you can do. And as Dan mentioned, we have some sessions to teach you how to do that. It is not difficult, and it's pretty ingrained in Arizona culture to do this. But you need to kind of learn how to do that and not just apply for the scholarships, but actually participate in getting the donations. Okay?
Yes, and I have that in the next slide to help them get through. Okay, so for tax credit donations, we're encouraging everyone who has a job and works and pays Arizona taxes, especially associated with their school, to donate to private schools. And then there's also other organizations. You can get to working poor charities, the public school clubs, and different programs. So there's lots of different ways. Our focus here is to get tuition dollars through scholarships. So your CPA, if you have your tax through there, and Connie, we have some help, should know about these programs. If not, let us know and we can help educate them, and we'll bring brochures their way. So the private school tax credit for tax year 2023, the max you can give is $2,609 for married and joint filers. For singles, it's $1,307. So some of the finer details you can give for tax year up until you pay the taxes or the April 15th deadline. So most people, now's the time where we're going to be doing that, and now's the time to get the word out that about our STOs, and then your child and other people can recommend your child outside of your household, and I'll get into that in a little bit.
Dan, can I pipe in on one more thing there?
Yeah.
I think you just accidentally misspoke there, and I know this is all a slight technicality, but the people don't donate to the school. they have to donate to a school tuition organization. And then that school tuition organization gives the money to the school. I think that's what you meant to say. So I just wanted to make sure they understood that flow of the money.
Thank you, Tim. So, another point you can give to several different tax credit organizations. So you can give to STOs, you can give to working poor charities. As long as you have a tax liability, you can direct your monies all over. Okay. You can carry over your credits. I've done this before. I gave too much and I couldn't use all my tax liability. It carried over to the next year. So that is possible too. Once you give the credit, you have that credit and you can use it within a certain time frame. And also some corporations can match your donation. So if you or family members work for a corporation, they often have matching programs. And I believe those need to be Arizona corporations.
Oh, hold on.
So they just have to be companies, corporations that have a tax liability in Arizona. So they don't have to be based here. But one way to look at it is, do they have employees here? So if they have revenue and employees here, then they have a tax liability. Like our largest donor is United Healthcare. They're based out of Minnesota, but they have a presence here. So any company with a presence here can participate in it.
Great. Okay, so to make your tax credit donation, as Tim pointed out, you need to choose an STO, a student tuition organization. We have plugged for a long time our affiliate. We have an STO with the Orem School. It's a foundation, Orem Primavera Schools Foundation. We encourage you all to give to that, spread the word. We've been doing that for about 20 years now. However, we cannot direct recommended funds for that. Arizona Tuition Connection, where Tim is the executive director of, they allow recommended donations, and that's their top criteria for distributing their funds. So if you reach out to family and friends, you can give them a brochure, and you can even customize those brochures with your pictures of your child, if you choose, and really customize it and then pass them out. And once you get a pool of donors, when they go back and do their taxes every year, they're going to consider doing that every year. So really, if you do a lot of legwork up front, the money can come in regularly, as long as you keep in touch with them. So you do need to make your donation to the STO, and then when you file your taxes, the state of Arizona will refund you that one. So we encourage you all to make those donations and check out how easy it is to make a donation to either Arizona Tuition Connection, and you can recommend Primavera School. You can't recommend your own child, but you can recommend our school. That money will come to us, and then we allocate it out. Same goes for the Orem Primavera Schools Foundation. We have a board meeting. We look at all the applicants, and then we allocate the funds that we have available based on need. So for the Arizona Tuition Connection, you can recommend your child. I just went through today and did the application process. Very easy, very minimal. Every year you need to submit an application as a recipient of the, you want to receive the scholarship. That's an annual thing that you need to do. If you need the money for tuition, the tuition organization contacts us, Primavera School, and then we say, yes, they have a tuition balance. No, they are not taking ESA money, and we confirm all the legal pieces.
Meetings.
Okay, we're just about done, so thank you. Tim with Arizona Tuition Connection has been doing webinars. There's some on their website, and he's doing some. I went to one yesterday. He has some next week as well. I highly recommend that. very inspirational and really boils it down and makes it easy to do. It does take a little legwork up front, but once you get the brochures made, pass them out, make the connections, and really it's your acquaintances that can help you do that. If they have a tax liability and they want to support you or your child's education, they can direct it, and it's no cost, no net cost for them. So there's Arizona Tuition Connection. Okay, so there are some rules and laws that go here. So you cannot give to a child in your household. So if you're living in the same house, you cannot donate to that child. However, we encourage you to give to any STO, ideally or in Primavera or Arizona Tuition Connection, to Primavera School. Okay, and then we can get that money and then allocate it as needed. You cannot get with your friends and say, I'll give you a tax credit donation, you give me a tax credit donation. That is not allowed. You can't get a group of 5. You can't just mix it up. It's tax fraud and it's not allowed. They must be made by April 15th each year. And here's the really cool thing that I'm still getting my hand on, is that you can get recommended funds to be held by an STO, like Arizona Tuition Connection, even if you're not going to use it. So right now, if you have a kindergarten student going in next year, you can start collecting funds this tax year for next year. If you didn't get many or any, you can take the ESA and then keep on working it. And then as soon as you build up a good amount of money in that account, you can drop the ESA at the beginning of the school year and then utilize transition at STO, where you already have a bank of money. So the earlier you start, the more opportunities you'll have to pay for all of your tuition. Here we go. So recommended funds are not guaranteed, but as long as you comply with the laws and you communicate respectfully, that money from Arizona Tuition Connection will come to Primavera School with the recommendation of your child's needs. So as long as everything's in line and you're not cussing out anyone and you followed all the laws, we'll make sure that money gets you. Okay. I know Tim has to leave soon, but I believe
I'm gonna put
okay. Is he on?
Oh, were you waiting for me, Dan?
Yes, do you have anything? I know you have to leave soon for another meeting.
So I kind of got backed up here, Zoom call to Zoom call, so I apologize, but that's a great summary. You did a great job, Dan. I will just again say our website is arizonatuitionconnection.com. And there's an events section there that you can click on and come to one of the Zoom sessions that Dan attended just the other day. I kind of tongue in cheek say, give me 45 minutes of your time and I can show you how you never have to pay tuition again. But I believe that there's so much money out there. It's just that parents don't learn the details of how this all works and how to go out and get it. So if you come to one of those sessions, we'll teach you, how to start out on ESA if you're new to this and get donations. And then when it makes sense to transition from that ESA program, that guaranteed $7,000 program, over to tax credits where you can get 100% of your tuition paid for. But you do have to learn how this works. So again, if you go to our website and go to, which is arizonatuitionconnection.com, and go to the events section, just come to one of those sessions. I'm sorry, that was my daughter chiming in there. But just come to one of those sessions and we'll show you how this works. This is something you can do. I have to stress this. This is something that thousands and thousands and thousands of parents are doing to get 100% of their tuition paid for. And there's no reason why we can't be doing it for you at your school too, okay? I apologize, I gotta jump over onto my next Zoom. If you have questions for me, you can always call our office, which is 480-409-4106. Or you can reach me at tim@arizonatuitionconnection.com. I'd love to help you out. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you all. We're gonna end the Zoom meeting here. It's gonna close, and then really, if you have any questions, just reach out. We're gonna do a little workshop here with those people who are here in person, and we'll be able to help you out, answer any questions. I'm still learning. Tim has helped me quite a bit, and I can look forward to continuing to help you and to learn more to make this as easy as possible. So thank you all. Okay.